Hey, how are we doing, guys? Gray here, and today we've got our week 5 battle, I want to say it is, of the BBL. We're going up against Hopeless and his New Jersey Alters. Make sure to go check them out. The link will be down in the description below, as well as the BBL Coaches for the BBL this season. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a like, subscribe, so you don't miss out on future content as well. We've got loads coming up. And yeah, if you didn't see the UBL battle that went up on Sunday, this is going to be post-com, as well as next week at the BBL and UBL, as well, of course, PTL, but that's post-com anyway. Yeah, that's mainly because during this time, my mental health wasn't very good. And firstly, I thought this commentary was awful, like genuinely terrible, very negative. My play, I think, was made worse because of how I was commentating, and I was very aware that I was negative in my commentary as well. But as it turns out, it was muted anyway. So regardless of whether I wanted to use that commentary or not, I had to re-record because there is no commentary. So yeah, this is going to be a post-com. I'm going to let this just play out. I'll put the team up on the screen now so you can see what I'm bringing. There was a couple of genning issues that I think happened. I think it was Victini had Blue Flare instead of V-Create, and also had Quick Attack instead of U-Turn. I think it was this game. It could have been... No, sorry, no, it wasn't this game, though. It was Quick Attack instead of U-Turn. I think that's next week. I managed to misgen my Victini twice. I think there's something else on this that is wrong. Might just skip forward here. Let me just go forward to when this... Okay. We'll go a little bit further again. Okay, so that looks about right. Let's see if I can remember any of this game. It's happened a long time ago. Mudsdale was a really annoying one for my team to try and break down. In hindsight, shouldn't have brought so many physically offensive mons because, yeah, Mudsdale was a problem. But I had a very specific Rillaboom set that was meant to come in and deal with or set up on the Mudsdale. But yeah, it's going to be proving easier said than done. I think there was a Tapu Fini on my opponent's team that my TYRANITAR was really there for. I was kind of scared of Hydreigon having superpower from memory, and that the Torn obviously can have superpower as well. So there was a couple of things that I was really not happy of TYRANITAR being switching in on until I'd scouted their sets. And yeah, really, TYRANITAR was great switching for Hydreigon, regardless if it had superpower, because at least I'll be able to find out. And if it didn't have superpower, it never would have been able to break me. So we're going to see the lead is Hydreigon. I don't remember this matchup particularly well, but we led off with the Magnezone. I didn't want to take an Earth Power here, so I should just go to TYRANITAR. There could be quite a lot of the, like, should do this, should do that. Yeah, I think I end up going to Groudon. I Flash Cannon, actually. I just straight up hard Flash Cannons. He gives me Earth Power. Oh yeah, I'm sturdy Rocky Helmet, aren't I? So immediately there's a misplay. There's no reason for me to stay in and take that Earth Power. The Flash Cannon damage is really not worth it if it's got Roost, because I have to switch out effectively here. We see the lefties, and I'm not 2-hit KOing with the lefties. And effectively, I've just sacked my Magnezone for quite literally no reason, but that's because the plan before the game was just, if he led off with Darmanitan, was lead off with the Magnezone and just click a move as he goes for, I'll probably click Flash Cannon as he goes for a U-turn. And if he comes back in with the Darmanitan later, we click Endure and we get as many Rocky Helmet as much Rocky Helmet chip damage as possible. But yeah, we're going to end up taking a bit of a while to calc, as I think I'm just trying to work out whether or not Heavy Slam is going to be able to 2-hit KO this quite, like, this specific Hydra, because it looks like it's got a bit of HP investment, and that's less than ideal for me trying to break it. But I decided in the end this is going to be my best play. I still think I should have just gone TYRANITAR. TYRANITAR was absolutely fine. It also would have switched into this Dark Pulse much better than my Groudon did. And Groudon I really needed for things like the Zekrom, the Galarian Slowking. TYRANITAR's use really wasn't exploited here. Like, it absolutely would be better just to go TYRANITAR. I could have set up the Stealth Rock. I could have just Stone Edged this. Could have really scouted what set this Hydreigon was. And as we're going to see, Heavy Slam does not 2-hit KO with the leftovers. So unless we get rocks up, we're never actually able to 2-hit KO this. And I should... I click Heavy Slam again. I think I'm not really too worried at the moment if Mudsdale comes in because I've got my plan with Mudsdale. And I expect rocks to go up, and this is why I want to get Magnezone. So I do bring Magnezone back in here because I don't want him to get rocks up and Magnezone to go down for nothing. I want to try and get some value if I possibly can from it. But as we're going to see, he actually makes a double from memory. I think he doubles back into the Hydreigon, expecting a Rillaboom. I want to say that's what happens. Still, I've got that Tyranitar just sitting in the back there. Just minding his own business, not really doing anything. He absolutely could have done something during this time, but, you know. I think I had Toxic on it as well. I don't remember the set. You would have seen it. I don't remember it. Maybe I should remember it. Maybe I should have looked at it before. That would have made a lot of sense, but oh well. Shit happens. I think also he was scouting for the Solar Beam. So either he was... he was scouting for the Solar Beam. He was also... this also doubles as a way of bringing Hydra in on Rilla and Rilla not being able to set up. So doubled up as a really nice play for him. And for some reason I think, oh yeah, he's just going to go back into Mudsdale here. I don't fully understand why. But, you know, here we are. As long as rocks aren't on the field, then Magnezone still has something to do. It counts as a sack if I should need it. I have 2 good checks to this, or at least 1 very good check to this Hydreigon, being Tyranitar. We've seen Earth Power, we've seen Dark Pulse, we've seen Roost. It seemed unlikely he would have Superpower. Either, like, I don't know, Draco Meteor or Nasty Plot makes a lot of sense. Maybe U-Turn, even though he didn't show U-Turn. Maybe he wants to hide it. There was a few moves that made sense, and it could also have been Defog. I guess Defog makes sense. But yeah, we sack off our Magnezone for, honestly, quite literally no reason at all. Magnezone could have been a later game sack, should I have needed it against like Zekrom. And I don't think at this point I realise that my Victini is Blue Flare instead of V-Create. And once again, I have not gone into Tyranitar on the thing that Tyranitar would completely just check. But, you know, so be it. Apparently, it's just not how I'm going to play this game. I go with Victini, and this is the moment where I'm like, oh, okay, I was meant to have V-Create. I am fully physically offensive and not specially offensive at all. V-Create to Slowking does so much damage because I didn't expect him to stay in and want to take the Dazzling Gleam if I had it. And we're actually going to see this Blue Flare does a pretty good chunk. That's actually not bad damage at all. And we do get the burn, which, you know, is a little bit extra. We see the blue sludge, the black sludge. It's going to be negated by the burn, which is kind of nice. But if we have V-Create, that thing, even if it's physically defensive, I think still gets to a KO'd by V-Create. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like, V-Create kind of just nuked something on this team, whilst Blue Flare didn't. And it was going to be really difficult for me to break this Slowking without having that V-Create to just 2-hit KO it, because I could have just 2-hit KO'd it there. Rillaboom is going to have a hard time, I think, winning this game just because of the positioning. Like, Darmanitan still kills it. Tornadus will always be able to live a Grassy Glide, and I don't want to be there to take the Hurricane afterwards. Bring Tyranitar in as he goes for a Future Sight, which is absolutely fine. That does obviously do nothing to me. And I believe I should just set up rocks here. We are actually getting a little bit more chip on this Slowking because burn plus sand. We're getting the very minuscule chip. That means that he's going to come back in probably just under half health. Oh, I had Roar. So, yeah. If the Mudsdale came in, I can literally just Roar it. Which, I believe he goes for the rocks here. I think I do click Roar, maybe? There's certainly a turn in which I click Roar. Or is there? Maybe not. Who knows? This was meant for a setup Tapu Fini. If you try to set up some Carmines in my face, I was like, nope. Let's not do that. But he didn't bring the Finny. So again, priorities. Hydra would have been the switching, but I was so scared of superpower that I opted into just letting the Hydreigon kill effectively 2 mons at this point. Like I say, effectively 2. Groudon and Groudon got weakened and Magnezone died because I didn't switch in Tyranitar effectively. And then I take the future side, which I completely forgot about that one. But I said in my commentary, he's setting up rocks here, and I switch out of my psychic immunity into something that really did not want to take that hit at all. And I'm pretty sure I just go for a Grassy Glide here, or a high horsepower. Well, I think it's Grassy Glide, because I know full well that I'm not going to be able to knock out Torn. I'm not doing much damage at all to Torn, especially if it's got any HP investment. If it's like a bulkier pivot Torn, I'm really doing nothing to it. Didn't want to make a prediction. For some reason, I decided to still click Grassy Glide and just... I could have doubled into Groudon, and Groudon would have been able to do something and maybe at least threaten us out. That's respectable damage, but I am going to take Life Orb, I'm going to take Sand Chip, with a little bit of Grassy Terrain Recovery in the middle. But it's not looking good for Rillaboom. It was meant to be something of a win con in this game, and it's currently at 55 HP. And it really can't sweep at all at this point. It is, it's not looking good for potential sweep. And I think at this point I'm kind of looking a little bit lost. Like, I can see my webcam, you can't. I genuinely am just looking at the screen like I don't know what I'm meant to bring in here. So I just go ahead and bring in my Groudon, which was one of the things that I could easily have switched in as Tornadus. Like, if I lose my AV, I lose my AV. But we're now going to lose the Sand instead of the Sun. So yeah, he just goes for Air Slash. This is not going to do all that much to me from memory. Not a great deal. We'll get a bit of Grassy Terrain Recovery. And this should be... I should try and click Solar Beam on the Mudsdale coming in. Like, he's shown a couple of times that Mudsdale is his switching. If I want... I'm already behind. So I want to try and click a move that is going to gain me some momentum. And if that is Solar Beam, then that's got to be my play. Because Mudsdale still does a good amount of damage, like Earthquake or High Horsepower, whichever one is running, probably High Horsepower, is going to do a good amount of damage to my Groudon if he's just Body Press, and I give him a +1, then yeah, he's in a pretty good situation. I believe we go for Heat Crash here as he just U-turns. Probably should have expected a U-turn. And like I say, click Solar Beam. I need to make a play because I'm behind, and I'm just not making a play. Effectively, I am just kind of sitting here and clicking something that will hurt the thing that's in front of me instead of like giving myself any kind of momentum. So this Heat Crash is going to do about -3. Like, literally, that does nothing to Mudsdale. From memory, this is also leftovers, plus it's going to get the Grassy Terrain, so all that damage is going to be taken off. If I had Solar Beamed, because Grassy Terrain I think goes away here. If I Solar Beam on that turn, I'm pretty sure Mudsdale dies. So, no, sorry, Grassy Terrain doesn't go away here. So Mudsdale doesn't die, because it doesn't die to this Solar Beam. It comes very close to dying, but it doesn't quite die. If I had Solar Beamed, obviously he'd be in range now of Precipice Blades or Solar Beam, and I could have probably claimed a KO. We are going to throw out the Solar Beam. And I was really hoping this would be able to knock it out, but literally every calc said that it didn't. We do bring it down really low, yeah. Bring it down to red. As he gets up to +2. And it's so weakened at this point, he actually goes for Toxic. I don't know if he had Body Press or not, but if he did, I think Body Pressing would probably be a better play, but it covered a switch out as well, so it makes a lot of sense. And it does mean that we're not getting the Grassy Terrain Recovery as well, so yeah, not a bad mid-ground. Now he gets 2 lots of recovery, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's not going to sack off this Mudsdale that does very little for him at this amount of health. I decide I'm going to try and make a read now instead of when I probably should have made the read. and I go for a Precipice Blades or a Heavy Slam. I think I'd just go for a Heavy Slam, which is like honestly the worst. Like if Hydreigon comes in, again, I've got Tyranitar in the back. As reluctant as it seems that I'm to bring it in, I should just click Solar Beam here because it gets damage on the Hydreigon. It gets damage on... I mean, it gets damage on Torn, and I can always Precipice Blade... not Precipice Blades, like Heat Crash or whatever afterwards. So I go for the Heavy Slam and he stays in. And I think at this point I've like tilted myself pretty well. We get a crit, which honestly doesn't really do anything for me. As he's going to high horsepower. And yeah, now we're pretty much just like dead on the turn afterwards. There's no way of us surviving many more turns. I think we've probably got one more turn and then we die. Yeah. So I believe I'll go for Precipice Blades on this turn, because even from this range at +3, I believe this dies. I could be wrong, actually. I think Mudsdale might live this. I was thinking also he may just now go into Torn or Hydreigon, but considering I just clicked Heavy Slam on that turn, he might not. We connect... No, sorry, we missed the Precipice Blades. I think Precipice Blades did knock it out there, but yeah. Unfortunately, once again, we have missed Precipice Blades, but that time really didn't matter as much as our Gaming Against Mario, where it really kind of lost us a lot. But it is what it is. This Mudsdale now has stayed on the field for way too long. It should have died about 5 turns ago. And I could feel myself getting tilted by that. I was certainly not having a fun time. What do I even go into here? I don't even know. I think I go into Victini. I think I have to go into Victini and just click Blue Flare, because he doesn't really have the greatest of switch-ins. Like, you could switch in as Zekrom, but if a Zekrom gets burned, then that's not good for him. So yeah, Victini, in my opinion, just like a claim to kill here. And because we are Blue Flare, like Searing Shot would have been fine to knock it out anyway. I had Searing Shot specifically to burn. So yeah, Searing Shot would have been absolutely knocking this out. Unfortunately, we don't have V-Create to deal with other things, but, you know, it happens. Victini is able to pick up a KO here, as the Mudsdale that just wouldn't go down because I was refusing to let it go down, now goes down. God, it's infuriating watching yourself play back, especially when you're not playing well, when you can see the reads and you're like, yeah, you should click this, and then I just don't click it. He knows I'm scarfed, like from the way I brought it in and then swapped it out earlier. He knows I'm scarfed. Man, I was hoping that I would turn the brightness down on my monitor. I wouldn't be illuminated quite so much by the white screen, but unfortunately here we are, still like ghostly white when when we're picking them on. I finally decide, you know, Tyranitar can switch into Hydreigon. I was like, if he has superpower, he has superpower, it is what it is. So he actually nasty plots. So reveals that I could have absolutely switched in this Hydreigon at any point. But no. I was not feeling that play, apparently. I don't know what it was. I just got terrified of superpower. I literally sagged off like so many mons, and because I refused to do a very simple play. Because if Mudsdale comes in, then I could always just roar. That does a lot of damage, actually. That did a considerable amount. We hit the Stone Edge. We can hit Stone Edge, but not Precipice Blades, and I believe that was a roll to knock out the Hydreigon, but we do manage to knock it out. Tyranitar picks up the kill against the thing it arguably should have killed. I'm feeling very... I know my previous live com was quite negative. I feel like this is even more negative, if anything at all. I am really shitting on myself. And then Zekrom comes in. I did not have a whole lot to deal with Zekrom. Gotta be completely honest. My best way of dealing with Zekrom at this point is hoping, I think, that I can get it in range of Dazzling Gleam, which is going to be a challenge. It's certainly going to be a challenge to get it in range of Dazzling Gleam. Sorry, just checking I'm recording. I am recording. We're good. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to work out my way of potentially getting it into Dazzling Gleam range, but honestly, Zekrom at this point kind of just wins because my Groudon went down. I need a Groudon alive and I need it healthy to be able to take on the Zekrom. It was realistically was my only way of dealing with it because Zekrom is an absolute monster. I think to an extent my Magnezone could have done something, but that's not a lot really. Actually, thinking about it, it couldn't have done a lot because it doesn't have the moves to hit it. But at this point, I'm just trying to find ways of getting it down into Dazzling Gleam range. And I think that a Grassy Glide plus an Extreme Speed will put it in range, and I just got to hope for the best at that point. I think I've got to go... I've got to go for Blue Flare instead of Dazzling Gleam, because obviously if I lose 2 mons to Zekrom, then I can't lock into a move that doesn't hit Galarian Slowking. I've got to go for the move that hits everything. Granted, if it was V-Create, I think it did just knock out Zekrom from the range after those 2 moves, but I would also have been slower than Torn, and that's, it's not a great time. I was slower than Darm as well. So I make the mistake of going Rillaboom first and giving him the grassy terrain. So we've seen leftovers. He's now going to get 2 lots of healing at the end of each turn. I should have gone Dragonite first, clicked Extreme Speed, and then Rillaboom afterwards, clicked Grassy Glide, because it would put him at lower health than what he'll be at. Not by much, but it's kind of enough that it makes Blue Flare even more of a roll, I think, to knock it out. I don't remember what the roll was, but I think it was quite a bit in his favor. So Grassy Glide does a decent amount of damage, as he's going to knock us out. Zekrom literally just running through my team, which honestly I think from my prep should have been expected. I maybe should have been Boots on Dragonite. Like Boots DD actually at this point had a chance because Mudsdale went down. If I was able to set up a Dragon Dance on the Zekrom here, because I would have lived a Dragon Claw with a multi-scale, it would have been very tight, but I would have done so. If I had Dragon Claw myself, then I could have... actually Earthquake would have done damage. I think +1 Earthquake was enough to knock out Zekrom from this range. And then, like, Galarian Slowking... there's Grassy Terrain up, so wouldn't have been the case. If I had Dragon Claw, then it would have done enough. But I think Slowking was physically defensive, so scrap all that. I think Dragon Dance would have put me in a better spot if I was Boots. But instead, I'm going to go for the E-Speed. I'm going to get as much damage off as I can. I think there I was just checking to see if I could knock this out with Dazzling Gleam, but it wasn't even close. That actually did a lot of damage. I actually think that maybe +1 Earthquake, even in the grassy terrain, may have knocked this out. Just from that E-Speed damage. Another reason why if I had gone Dragonite first and I was Boots, then I would have had a grassy terrain and that would have been better. There's a lot of ways I could have prepped better for this game and won. But, hindsight's 2020. And then this is just like, not even a roll. I'm pretty sure this just straight up does not kill. I need to hit 2 Blue Flares. I need to crit a Blue Flare and get an absurd crit on top of that on the Slowking to even have a chance. In fact, I don't think that's going to do it. I'm just playing for diff. I'm playing for the Bolt Strike miss here. That is my game plan. And we've already lost. I think I lost this game very early on. But it is what it is. Sometimes it's just, it do be like that. As he does miss the Volt Strike, so good shit, I guess. A nice cheap bit of differential that we've just stolen away from him. I assume it's a him. His character's is female. I hope I haven't been misgendering this entire time. I'm pretty sure they are male, but I apologize if you're not hopeless. So you're going to pick up the kill. 2 Blue Flares is enough. So we take down the Zekrom, which is very fortunate because we shouldn't have. We managed to get us down from a 4-0 to a 3-0, and now he has just a variety of things that he can go out to. You can honestly just take his pick. What does he fancy picking up this last kill with? And I think he decides it's going to be Darmanitan, which we can actually do a pretty solid chunk with Blue Flare. Like, it takes the rocks. There's no way we knock this out. Like, literally no way at all. I assume this is Choice Scarf as well. Like, Choice Scarf made a lot of sense against my team. So, yeah, Blue Flare is going to do a pretty substantial chunk. Turned to fucking Australian. Goes for a Rock Slide, which could have missed. Rock Slide could have missed. That would have been interesting endgame if Rock Slide missed. But yeah, we are unfortunately going to lose 3-0 to Hopeless in what was honestly one of my worst performances this season. And I've not had... I think at this point I was feeling quite down about Mons generally. Like, I was feeling down in general life, but at this point I was really done with Mons, and we do move to, what, 1-4? 1-4 minus 10 or something ridiculous like that. It's not been a good season so far. Like, with hacks being a bit of a factor, but not really. Like, I don't know. It's not been the best Mons that I've played. It's also not been, like, my prep hasn't been good. My team is very weak to rocks, and I've not been prepping with rocks in mind, and that's really hurt me in a few games. So moving forward, definitely going to be having rocks in mind with my prep. And yeah, GG's are Hopeless. Make sure to go check out their side of this battle. I know it would have gone off a couple of days ago because we are late with this upload. I am late even recording this. So yeah, make sure to check them out. Give them some love. If you did enjoy the battle, I know I was very negative. The post-con wasn't exactly the most fun. But yeah, if you did enjoy the battle, please leave a like. Subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. And until the next one, have a great day, guys.